Hi, hello everyone. I'm soft skills trainer from the Department of Career Planning and Development. And in this video, you're going to be learning about mixed tenses, the concept of mixed tenses. Now, before moving on and understanding the concept of mixed tenses, firstly, we need to understand the usage of verbs, the importance of verbs in English language or in English grammar to be more specific. Okay. Now, verbs are basically the describing words that describe the action that is going on. The action or the doing words are known as verbs. So, the verbs they provide a tense or a time frame for those actions. Okay, so this is something that with the help of the verb, we are able to understand that what time frame we are actually referring to. If you're going to read the first sentence over here, it is written, I ran yesterday. So ran is the verb over here, and it is signifying that the action that was there in the past, that started in the past as well as it ended in the past itself. Okay, so we got a sense that it is talking about past tense. In the next sentence over here, it is written, I am running. So am plus run I in the ing form signifies that the action is still continued, is still there in the present tense. So something that is happening in the present tense right now, the action that began in the past and that is continuing till now. So this is talking about present tense. Okay, now next sentence, the last sentence over here says that I will run. So will and run signifies that we are talking about something in future, something which has not happened right now, but it is going to take place in the future. So over here you can understand, you can observe that according to the verb, or the verb defines the time frame that we are actually talking about. So basically our tenses are divided into three categories: present tense, past tense, and future tense. But we need to only understand over here simple present tense, simple past tense, and simple future tense. If you'll be able to understand and have you're going to grab the concept of these three tenses, so then it is going to be easy for you to solve mixed tenses questions. Okay, now first let us understand what is simple present tense. Now simple present tense has two different uses. Okay, now what are those uses? One is that what is happening, the action that is happening right now, what is going on right now is going to be told with the help of simple present. And the other usage of simple present tenses to describe your day-to-day habits. Okay, what happens regularly is also signified with the help of simple present tense. Like example, I read nearly every day. So this is a habit that I have. So this is told in the simple present tense form. Okay, next is we are talking about simple past tense. Now, simple past tense is a verb that is used to talk about something that has happened before, not now. We are not talking about the present, not now, but then something that has happened in the past. So, we are going to use simple past tense to complete that, to finish that sentence. We are going to make that sentence in simple past tense. Like for example, last night I read an entire novel. So this is something that is not happening right now. I'm not reading a novel right now. I had finished reading the novel last night. So that is something that has went by, is in the past tense. Okay, next is simple future tense. So simple future tense talks about the future, the coming time that is going to be there, the things that hasn't happened yet, we are just talking about the things that can happen in the future. So in the future, the example says, I will read double as much as I can. So right now, the amount of reading I am doing, so in the future, I am thinking that yes, I am going to exceed the limit. I will double the limit. So double the limit. So it is something that is not happening right now, neither it has happened in the past, but we are thinking, we are focusing on something that is going to happen tomorrow or day after tomorrow, somewhere in the future. Okay, so this is all about the three tenses: simple present tense, simple past tense, and simple future tense. Now coming to the concept of mixed tenses. Now mixed tenses occurs whenever a sentence has the verbs in the sentence are in more than two tenses. Okay, now for make it more clear to you, please read the example. It says, I ran yesterday and I will run tomorrow. So in one sentence, two different time zones, two different time senses are spoken about. So one is, the person is saying that I ran yesterday. So he is mentioning about something that has happened in the past. And then again, he is focusing on something that he's going to do tomorrow, that is signifying future. So mixed tense sentences are those in which one sentence you are going to witness two different tenses. Okay, now how to solve mixed tense sentences? These are the steps that you can follow. It is going to make your work easy for solving the mixed tense sentences. Now, the first one is, you need to read the whole sentence or the text. Okay, you need to give a thorough reading. You need to understand what exactly the sentence is meaning. After you're going to get the meaning of the sentence, it will become easy for you to define that what kind of tense is going to be used in what part. Okay, next you're going to choose the tense, and how you're going to choose the tense in a way that why certain tense is going to be used over here. You're going to analyze by giving the thorough reading that you have done is going to be very helpful for you, because you'll be able to associate different words of the tense in the sentences, that okay, fine, this is giving me this kind of a feeling that this has happened in the past. So according to that, you can fill in the verbs. Okay, next, the third thing that you need to keep in your mind, and the third step that you can follow over here, is that understand that whether it is the sentence is in an affirmative, negative, or interrogative sense. So according to that, your rules are going to come, your rules are going to work according to the sentence structure, that whether it is an affirmative sentence, negative, or an interrogative. If you are going to understand all these three things, so it is going to be very very easy for you to solve the mixed tenses sentences. Now let us try all these steps and see that whether we are able to solve or no. Now over here we have different sentences. So I have taken these sentences from a paragraph so that we can understand where the person is talking about present, past, or future. Okay. Now the sentence says, hi, I dash Matt Rotel, a friend of Alice's. So he's something, we can get a sense over here that something he's talking about either in the present. Okay. Now, next he says, oh yes, Alice dash you the other day. J, you dash like a detective. So, as you can read over here in the sentences, a story is going forward. It is kind of a conversation between two different people. So, please read all these sentences. Take your time, pause the video over here for 1 minute so that you can fill in your answers. Okay. Okay. I hope you had paused the video and fill in your answers. So right now I am going to be discussing all the answers and why these answers are here. What is the reason that we have used these particular words as the answers? Now, the first sentence says, "Hi, I am Matt Rotel, a friend of Alice's." Why we have used am in the present tense? Because it is a conversation that is happening between two people, so it is there in the present tense that two people have just met and they are starting with the conversation. Next sentence is, "Oh, yes, Alice mentioned you the other day." So over here, we had used the past tense. Other day means that someday back in the time. Okay, so it is the person is talking about something that has happened in the past. So that is why mentioned. Gee, you don't look like a detective. Now, again, in this sentence, they had come back to now she's replying or he is replying in a way in the present tense, because we are having the conversation in the present tense. In the first half, she's referring or he or she is referring to something, the conversation that has happened in the past, so that's why it is mentioned. And after that, we have again traveled back to present tense. Well, that's good, I guess. So again, guess is there in the present tense. Okay. After that, the sentence says that, "I'm curious. Tell me, how did you decide to become an undercover cop?" So this is something that the person is asking about the decision that the person has taken in the past. That how did you decide it? How did you decide to become an undercover cop? So did is already in the past. So decide is going to be in the same form. Okay. Now next is, well, I was a kid, I loved to read detective novels. So this is something that he's talking about when he was a kid. Right now he's an adult, so he's talking about the past tense, that when I was a kid, I loved to read. So loved in the past tense. Next, by the time I was 10, I had read every book in the Hardy Boy series. So again, he's mentioning something about the past, that what he used to do. So when he was there at the age of 10, he is now bigger than that, so that is a part of past tense. So he had already read all the books, so I knew that I wanted to go into law enforcement. So this is something that he has already decided at that time, that in the future he would like to be, he's going to be in law enforcement. So this was kind of an impact that books had on him. So he had decided that he's going to go into the law enforcement. So over here you are able to see that even if we are talking about, like, we are, the conversation over here is going on in the present, but then mixed tenses are used in a way that in one sentence we are using present tense, and the other sentence we are using past tense. And then over here in this in the second and the third sentence, you can very easily see that half of the sentence is there in the past tense and half of that is there in the present tense. So this is a very good example of mixed tenses. This is how you need to go forward to. You need to first understand, you need to read everything thoroughly, get a sense of the sentences, try to understand what is the meaning of these sentences, and then look for the keywords that are specific to different sentence tense formations, and then and then try to solve the questions. It is going to be very easy for you. You need to just practice and everything is going to go well. I hope you understood the concept of mixed tenses with this particular video. Thank you so much.